Hey, Jason Durham with Ice Fishing 101. Just one quick tip to share with you. A lot of people, when they take out their fish trap shelters, they've got the zipper for the access door down at the bottom. Well, if you end up banking up any slush or snow around your shelter, it'll melt during the day and sometimes refreeze, and that zipper will get enough ice on it that it impedes its ability to open and close. So all you have to do is take both of these zippers, because it has two, move it all the way around to the top, and now you're not going to have any issue with the ice and snow, and you can easily exit and enter your fish trap shelter. As you can see, we are not on the ice for Ice Fishing 101 today, but we're talking about what you can do to protect your investment of your fishing shelters in the off season. And this is really important. You've invested a lot of money into something that's going to keep you warm and dry in the winter. We need to make sure that it works year after year. So looking at our fish trap shelters, the main thing you want to do, and with either shelter really, first thing you have to do is make sure that they get dried out well. So what I do is I'll take them outside, I'll take them out of the garage, and I'll leave them out in the yard for probably an afternoon. But the big thing is you want air circulation. So you need to open up the door, and I will usually open up the front and the back door to get some airflow moving in there. I might even prop it up so it's not flat onto the ground. And you want to make sure that you take it in, because if you leave it out for a couple days, if you've got an increase and decrease in temperature, you're going to have some moisture that builds up on the exterior and the interior, so you're really not doing yourself any favors. So make sure that it gets dried out really, really well. Then I'm just going to pack the whole thing up, and then at that point, I do close the doors, I fold the entire shelter up. What I like to do is I put some dryer sheets in there, and the reason I do that, and it's the same thing that you'd use for your clothing in the dryer, put a few of these inside the shelter, and then I'll take the travel cover and I'll cover the whole thing up, and then I'll pack it into a cool, dry space. You don't necessarily want to put it in like an outbuilding that's got an earth floor on it where you're going to have a lot of rodents coming in, because they will do damage to your shelter. So if you can store it in a garage that's dry, that's the best case scenario. If you don't have a cover for it, you can take just a standard tarp and tie it around there, or you can leave it open, but definitely the dryer sheets will help deter pests. Then, if you've got a hub style shelter, you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna take this outdoors, you're gonna open up the doors. Now, if you do have a windy day, this whole shelter could be taken away. So you do want to anchor it down, and using those ice anchors that we use in the winter aren't going to work so well on the earth. So you might just want to tie it maybe to a deck rail or something like that, just so it can't get away. Even try to pick a day that's not so windy that you're going to compromise that shelter staying on the ground. But again, just open up the doors, and there's a nice Velcro spot there to secure the door open. I would open them both up, make sure that you get some airflow in there, and then I'm going to pack it up, put it in the duffel bag that you use for travel, and I'm going to put some of those dryer sheets inside of that bag as well. And I don't typically store the entire bag on the floor. I like to have that up on a shelf, because it's a fabric that's protecting it, and if there's any moisture on the floor, it's going to gather underneath and you could get mold, which we want to avoid when you're trying to make sure that you're protecting your ice fishing investment. And finally, the off season is the best time to do any needed repairs to your shelter. So if you have any broken hardware, maybe you need a patch on your fish house, now is the time to do it, because you're not dealing with the cold weather. You can easily put on a new runner or anything like that, and it's easiest to do it right before you store it so you don't forget about it, so you're all set to go the next ice fishing season.